Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Charlie Collins. I use he, him, his gender pronouns. I am a white identified cisgender male from a working poor background. I'm a first generation college graduate, college student. My dad only had a 10th grade education. My mom had a high school diploma. Um, I grew up in a place called San Bernardino, California, which is about 60 miles east of LA. And I grew up in one of the poorest neighborhoods in one of the poorest and most violent cities in California. Every year, San Bernardino ranks one or two on homicide rates in the entire state of California, usually between Stockton, San Bernardino, and Oakland. The neighborhood I grew up in was mostly Latinx and Southeast Asian families, and most of my friends were from those families. And for me, growing up in San Bernardino was interesting because it was really a case study in in institutional racism. And what I mean by that is San Bernardino was segregated. The schools were disproportionately funded. So the white schools in the foothills, we consider those the quote unquote good schools, right? And schools in my neighborhood were the bad schools. And what that means is that the schools in the white neighborhoods in the foothills were funded at a much better, much higher rate than the schools that I went to. In addition to that, police harassed my friends and I almost on a daily basis, walking home from school, driving home from school when we finally got our licenses. There were several instances where my friends and I were pulled out of our vehicles at gunpoint by the police and placed in handcuffs while our car was searched. And that was just kind of a normal thing for us to have that happen to us. There were little to no public or private investments in my community in San Bernardino, and there were more liquor stores than grocery stores. And I give that all to you because my draw to community psychology is really informed by my background, by growing up in a place like San Bernardino. And I'm drawn to community psychology because its focus on social justice and the values of social justice. I believe that social scientists have an obligation to use our research to advance issues of social justice. And that's partly what community psychology does. And that's where my work lies. And so my work and my research is largely informed by my background. I study issues of whiteness, which I define as subtle or overt forms of institutional, cultural, or individual practices that produce and reproduce racial injustice. So essentially, whiteness is a system of domination that unjustly benefits those who have historically been considered white in the U.S. I'm curious about how we can intervene in these unjust systems and intervene in whiteness domination. And I work with anti-racist activists. And so I'm really interested in how do we get white people to understand issues of whiteness. And so for me, college was my ticket out of my neighborhood. As a first generation student, it was nearly impossible navigating the system of academia. So I understand for those first gen students what it's like. I still don't feel like an academic. I honestly don't like a lot of academics. So it's a weird place for me still. It took years of awkward conversations and failure to figure out academia and get through it. So what I want to leave you with is, where you're at, really embrace failure, learn from failure. I still fail every single day. I get papers rejected. I get bad evaluations. I get grants denied. Failure is a constant thing, but I learn from it and it makes me stronger and better. And also talk to your professors. Ask for guidance. If you are first generation, let them know so they can help you navigate this very weird space of college. And this is the time to build your social capital. So those are the people to talk to help you move through this space. So be well, and hopefully I will see you.